I'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for buying a business. Let's dive in. Luke, what would you like to accomplish today?
So in business, how do you determine when something's hard that, yeah, it's hard, it's a season, it's time, you'll go through it, or no, you're just being stupid, like you're not learning what you should learn, and that's why it's hard.
I'm thinking. Um, well, I think going in, are there things that I know I'm not doing that I should be doing? I think, I think one of the difficulties when you have somebody like me around is just the vast amount of experience and knowledge of what you could be doing. So you can't do everything that I go ahead and direct you to do. It's impossible. So I don't do everything, you know, I direct other people to do, or I suggest, hey, you could do this and this and this. And so, you know, one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever had in life is when my seven kids were born, being in the delivery room. So when my dad's, 20 years before I was a dad, they didn't let men in the delivery room. They didn't let the husbands in the English world. Um, they did with me and all seven of them. And um, so we went through Lamaze class, and so there was preparation. Like, yeah, this is gonna be rough. Like, you're not. It's going to be painful. And so, for me, okay, it's going to be painful. That's part of life. It's part of giving birth, but it can be more painful depending on how the mom and her husband respond in that pain. And so
Hmm.
if she hyperventilates, if she doesn't listen to the doctor to push or not to push, um, if she doesn't breathe, so everything in her body is telling her kind of to do the opposite of probably what's healthy for the baby and what's healthy for her. And so there's got to be tremendous discipline, in that. So I think that raising children, getting married, having a business, all of those things, there are counterintuitive stuff. And so if you've got people, you know, you can ask those questions, you're a young guy, if you can say, hey, am I just being stupid? So if there's specific things that you're like, hey, is this harder than what it needs to be? If it's harder than, is this harder than it needs to be? The answer is almost always yes. So you're making it harder than what it needs to be. Almost always yes.
Hmm.
So you just ask somebody who has more experience and say, okay, how do I make this easier? Or how could have I made this easier if I had done something, sooner in the process? And so I love the book and the, audio recording of 10X. So he says in there, which is true, you pay now or you pay later. You're going to pay. So do you want to pay now or you going to want to pay later? And if you pay now, most people want to pay later. Most people want the dopamine hit. Most people want to feel good. Most people want to be lazy. Most people want to cut corners. Most people, it's like, I don't, I'll pay later. I'll do the work later. I'll do the effort later. So you just ask people that are more experienced than you, hey, this seems really painful. Is there a way that I can make it less painful? Or are there things that I could have done to potentially reduce what I'm doing now, the pain I'm having now.
Got
Makes
it. That
sense.
makes sense. Yeah.
And so the personality you guys have gone through, leverage the course and Top Gun, that's good. So internalization will help you pay a lot less in a lot of things. But people, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why people have such a hard time. And so is there a specific situation you'd like to bring out?
Um, Maybe in sales where it's stuff kind of slows down and that's when you it seems like when you're doing a lot of servicing you don't or when servicing picks up a lot of sales go through then sales gets neglected.
Right. So what you do is you do marketing, you go out and generate leads, and then you go ahead and work those leads, and then you close those leads, and then you go ahead and do servicing. Well, that's what the roller coaster. And you know, so you're going to have a roller coaster. What you need to do is you need to have the marketing continuing to go. You need to have the pre-sales going. You need to have, you know, when you're doing pre-sales, you still need to be doing marketing. When you're doing sales, you still need to do pre-sales in the marketing. And when you're doing servicing, you still need to go ahead and do, sales and pre-sales. And so you've got to have all of these things going on. I mean, one of the things that I've shared with you and Kenny multiple times is referral partners. So you guys have been for 2 years been able to develop a certain level of business without referral partners. And so, like, we just had like a breakthrough in the Tuesdays um, virtual coffee connection, which is right before this. And I don't know why I didn't see it sooner. I just like, really, Mark? So it took months, like, I don't know, 6 months, 9 months, whatever it's been. It's taken months to go ahead and see what I saw. And so there was an Amish guy, and Nora scheduled him, and he owns a butchering, company. And he did a 30-minute. He's going forward on a business X-ray, and he asked about the virtual coffee connection, and he asked, "Can I bring somebody else on it from Ohio?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can bring anybody you want." And so then we had, then we had went through this, and I said, okay, so he had some questions, good questions. I said, go to page 2. And then he went there and I explained that to him. Then I said, go to page 11, went there and explained that to him. And so if you had referral partners that you really promoted, like the business operating system, they're having the same challenges that you do. And so they can learn a great deal. You give them, you don't have to pay anything for the booklet. You don't have to do any work. You get that, and then you promote being on the coffee connection. And maybe we switch this, maybe we switch it to 4:30. So the coffee connection, in a week or two is at 4:30. So we combine this one with the other one. So you're gaining value now, but you're not gaining anything close to the value you could be gaining if you had 3 or 4 or 5 of your referral partners on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not leveraging this time as well as you could. So if you have more referral partners when it goes down, as their business is growing, your business is going to grow. As they're putting in effort, it's going to come back to you. So you and Kenny have done some with referral partners, but nothing compared to what you could. I mean, not even close. So when I was in the mortgage industry, I worked with referral or with realtors, accountants, financial planners, and builders, but mostly with realtors. So I went out like every day of the week, 6 days a week. I went out and talked to realtors, called them, talked to them, worked with them, came up with tools and systems because that's how you grew that business is through referral partners. So you guys could gain benefit from that, but you've got to go ahead and like Backy, you have 200 referral partners, okay? And you go ahead and identify targets and send something out. And now I've got the great idea. Like today, you can join us every Monday at 4 or every Monday at 4:30. And we're going to answer any questions about the booklet. Like we have the author, I don't know, we've contracted with the author, whatever you guys want to say, and he'll be able to answer any questions about anything on here. And specifically, we're going to be talking about, and then you decide where we're going to be talking about.
Gotcha.
And so, here and it could be any one of the flip book, any one of the flip books, it could be any one of them that you wanted to do. And it could be at some point, I wouldn't do it right away. Well, you can't do it right away because you don't have the booklet. But if you had the booklet for, like, there could be a referral partner booklet. There could be a Dreamscape Creations booklet. Like, why do we do what we do? You could get your clients, nobody else in the world is doing what was proposed to do on that booklet. So there's a whole bunch of different things. Like on books that I've done podcasts on it. Oh, how do you turn Riverside Retreat? How do you turn Riverside Retreat into more business? So what you're doing is called turning learning into earning. And so all of the learning you're going through in podcasts, how do you turn that into earning? Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Other questions?
I don't think so.
Anything else you want to cover?
Nope, I think I'm good.
So if you're listening to the rebroadcast of this, you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300. Outside the US, 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.